Hello, Riftbreakers. Have you ever played a game on its hardest difficulty and you ended up making the final battle way too easy? It's like doing all the side quests in an RPG, where you find out that you outleveled the final boss to the point where the encounter was trivial. Pretty fun, isn't it? Let me give you a tour of my base from my brutal campaign as the headquarters finishes upgrading to level 7.
My sensors are picking up multiple groups of hostile creatures approaching our base.
Okay, we're ready for them.
I want to start off by saying that I still have the resources and power to add even more defensive towers, but what I have is already way more than enough. For power, my headquarters is using 8 fusion reactors and 2 nuclear plants. These are used to supply power to the rift station that we see here, as well as about 500 defensive towers. Around every corner of my headquarters, I have a lot of defenses. Here's a quick summary of every location that can be attacked from. I usually have at least 4 of each defensive tower type. It's important to have a variety, not just because enemies have different resistances and weaknesses, but also because there are 4 different ammo types for towers and you don't want them all pulling from the same group. My entire base is surrounded by repair stations. While this helps against any damage done to walls or turrets during attacks, this also helps against things like hailstorms, meteor showers, and other annoying random events. The areas I'm defending use shield generators from the plasma that my fusion reactors are making to soak up a lot of the initial damage. When you hover over a building in build mode, above the hit points is a small section for shields, and it's constantly filling up. Lastly, you'll notice I have a lot of artillery towers. With 8 level 3 fusion plants, you can support quite a lot of them. In total, I have about 30.
After the HQ upgrade.
I think everyone has a pretty good idea of how this base works. Let's activate the Rift Station and do the final battle.
Station power-up sequence initiated. The energy flux is creating intense electromagnetic waves. I am detecting minor gravitational field disturbances.
The power-up sequence is creating seismic waves. I can feel the ground shaking. The weather is going crazy. It looks like the whole planet is going mad.
I am detecting hordes of creatures moving towards our base from all directions. There are thousands of them. Ashley, this is it.
I'm not sure if I'm stressing more about the battle or by opening the connection to it. We've been here for so long. Every day part of the survival. We are prepared for the battle. I know we are.
While we're under attack, I want to bring up something that some of you may have encountered. In the late game, when your headquarters gets pretty big, you may start encountering tiny lag spikes. At the time of recording this video, when there are changes to the main power network, like when your power connectors are built or destroyed, the game does a large amount of recalculations for your entire base. If your headquarters gets too big, the time it takes to recalculate can be several seconds. This is usually increased if you're under attack. There was a patch recently that improved this, but the problem still persists. In my first playthrough, this bug actually reduced my enjoyment of the final battle. Still managed to have some fun though. In this playthrough, I decided to make some drastic changes to prevent this. In my main headquarters, I decided to focus mostly on the Rift Station, the armories, communication hubs, and research labs. While I do have some tower ammunition factories and storage buildings, the majority of the other buildings I made are located in other maps. I also dismantled most of my solar and wind turbines since I have a lot of active fusion plants providing the energy instead. I also don't have any defenseless mining outposts on this map either. With all of these optimizations, the final battle runs really smooth, and my computer only has to worry about the turrets and the creatures we're fighting. That's it. Now that we got that out of the way, let's go get some front row seats and join in on the fun. Let me tell you about my weapons. In order to optimize the different weapon types, I use, in my first weapon slots, a minigun and a plasma rifle. In my second weapon slots, I use a grenade launcher and the corrosive gun. And for the third weapon slot, I use a shotgun and a nuclear missile. Normally I use a hammer instead of a shotgun, as I usually use the third slot purely for clearing out the local floor. And just like that, if you're given all the time in the world, you can make the final battle on the hardest difficulty in campaign mode look this easy. At least the explosions look pretty cool, right?
Rift Station power sequence completed. The quantum gate is stabilized. Ashley, we are ready to open the two-way portal back to Earth.
Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time.